So I thought it was time to give you an update. For you, it'll just be a matter of moments since you saw me pick this car up and have a little mess with it on the trailer. Since then, a couple of weeks have passed, and I've managed to spend a few hours on it here and there. I did establish that it turns over, and it'll run, and gearbox works, and brakes work, handbrake works, all of that kind of stuff. So we're a good foundation for getting this car back up and running and on the road. But right now, I've started to do a little bit of work on it, getting it prepped, and I thought I'd give you an update because later on today and tomorrow we've got a huge pile of parts being delivered, and so the next video, the one that will follow this, will be all about the repairs and renovations and putting it back together again and getting it on the road. So let's start. Let's show you what we're doing, where we've got to. So the first thing is to start the engine bay. This is where the real problems with the car began, obviously, and what happened, the more I'd learned about this, the more I discovered that what actually happened was that we had a fire, petrol fire, underneath the bonnet here, and it took out the entire wiring loom and a lot of the cables and hoses and things like that, and we ended up with just mess. I'll show you at the back here. There you go, that's what's left of the wiring loom, and unfortunately, like, there is the plug that connects the chassis loom to the main loom, and next to it there is the plug, the remains of it, that connects the main loom into the engine loom. So we've basically got to replace the entire wiring harness on the car. We also lost accelerator cable, we lost the speedo cable, the cables for the heater, the bulkhead feed-throughs, completely trashed. However, I built up a new distributor for it, and from my pile of salvage parts I found some leads and ignition coil, and although I've taken the carburetor off it now, I just used the old carb and poured some fuel in the top. I ran it off of a jump pack, and I was able to get the car to start and run for a few seconds just on the fuel that was in there. But because all the fuel pipes were completely mashed, here's a good example. So this is the pipe that runs up from the pump, and there you go, it was melted. So because of that, I've ordered a couple of bits, and I've actually plumbed in new petrol pipes down to the tank in preparation for getting the carburetor back on. I'm going to reuse as much of the old kit as possible. So, like, there's the return valve separator and the supply to the carburetor, and we're going to reuse that. But otherwise, underneath here, everything is fine. I've given it a really serious deep clean as well. I left it soaking in stuff, and what you'll see is things like this. You follow the steering down, all these UJs are all new. Everything's at some point and recently been rebuilt and looked after and loved. It's got a nearly new alternator on it, lovely red engine block. No idea why it's red, but maybe someone will tell me why the engine block is red. Obviously it's perhaps, well, I say obviously, perhaps it's not the original engine, but it might be. I haven't checked the engine number against registration documents and things like that. But lovely red block, black cast head, original rocker cover, stuff like that. Radiator and water system seem fine, and so we're not fiddled with that at all. Obviously we'll service it once we get it all up and working properly, but for now I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about the engine because I know it runs. I'm not worried about the gearbox because I know it's fine. transfer box and all of the diffs and things like that, all fine. Brakes fine, handbrake fine, no problems anywhere like that. I've had it up on the ramp, given it a good clean underneath, and I'm very pleased with the general condition of everything. Yeah, you might argue it'd be nice cosmetically to have some new towers in there, but fundamentally everything about this is really quite lovely, given that it's 40 years old. So what else have we discovered? Oh yeah, okay, so the more I've learned about this car, this is a 1984 Land Rover 90, not a Defender, because the Defenders didn't come out until 89, I believe. This has got the unusual option of one-piece doors, wind-up windows and lift-up handles. Generally in very good condition. You could probably argue they need some new door cards. There's a bit of rust in the bottom of the doors. I've actually ordered some repair pieces to go in there. I've cleaned out the inside. I've had it all apart and back together again as part of the clean-up operation, but you'll see as we work our way through the car that basically everything is just lovely. Footwells, original firewall, doesn't appear to have had any repairs. It's had some new black paint put on it, but that's all right. All the original floor panels and all the other metalwork is all original and well looked after. It's had new galvanised sills put on it, which is nice. I'm halfway through taking the dashboard out because I need to replace the whole wiring loom. So that's what's going on. All galvanised cappings, all in beautiful condition, same on the hardtop, all galvanised. That's all factory original like that. Took the spare wheel off to have a look at the general state of the back door here, and it's got a few little wrinkles and bits and pieces in it, but I really like the patina. I like the finish and the colour. And I think one thing's for sure, this is not going to get repainted. So that does present a slight problem because this door is toast. It's just rust all the way through. And that means I've got to do something about it. And so what I've done is I've ordered a new frame, complete, and I'm going to peel the skin off of this door and put it on the new frame. I've not done that job before, but I have got an O-level in metalwork from 45 years ago, so you never know, I might be able to make that work. If I don't, worst case, I'll just have to put a new door on it. We've had a bit of a clear out in the back here, and we've got parts that I've removed as we're going along, but it's really, really refreshing to see this starting to clean up. All the original galvanising and all the original fittings and everything exactly as it should be. It's really nice. All original, all exactly as it should be. Couldn't wish for more, and yeah, even more reinforcements of my idea, which is that this car should just go back together again without any cosmetic work at all other than a clean. Okay, what else have we got going on? As I say, bodywork doors. This door, similar to the driver's door, it's got a bit of rust in the bottom edge, which will need a new rail in the bottom. And I've ordered those, so they're on their way. Footwell in the passenger side, even better than the footwell on the driver's side, perhaps not surprisingly, because it's had much less work, but you know, it's absolutely original. And apart from little bits of surface rust, it's going to come up lovely. Again, all I'm going to do is give it a good clean and maybe a little bit of rust treatment. I think this is new. It's had a new sill on this side as well, which is odd because in the back of the car with the car came another new sill for this side, so I might have a spare. Battery tray is all good. Bit of grit in the bottom there and a bit of surface rust, but again we'll treat that surface rust and do it sympathetically and make it lovely again. Having taken the seats out, I've also ordered a new set of seat covers, so we'll keep the original seats but we'll just recover them with original type black vinyl, which will match the centre seats, which I've taken out but we've got, and it's lovely. Yeah, okay, so what else have we got? What else can I tell you? Obviously generally it's very straight. And I'm very happy with it, but the thing to remember about this sort of car, and if I just turn my camera off, no, it's all right, it's still recording. I think what we have to remember when we look at something like this is the parts are not expensive, but this car needs a lot of parts to make it right. Wiring looms and electrical components on their own are going to be around £1,500. And I've also spent probably the same again on parts for tidying up the inside of the car, for door repairs, for the skin or the frame for the back door, and things like that. And we're going to have to put quite a lot of labour into sorting this out as well. So this is not going to be a cheap build. It wasn't a terribly expensive car in the first place, given its heritage, given its originality, and given the fact that it came already on a new galvanised chassis. Well, not new, that's another thing. Bit of research has led me to believe, now this car last changed hands in 2008, and a little bit of research leads me to believe that this car had a complete rebuild in 2009. Even 2009, that's 16 years ago. And it stayed with that one owner for that entire 16 years. And obviously that one owner really loved it and looked after it, which is, all credit to him or her. And if you know who that person is, please do get in touch. Let me know what the backstory is to why this car ended up in a Copart auction. I'd be very interested to know why it didn't just stay with its owner. I hope he didn't die or something, but the thing about old guys like us is that we do die and our vehicles hopefully live on beyond us, and that's what happened to this one. So what do I need? I need my parts to arrive. I need a cup of coffee. I need to have a sweep up of all the debris that I've taken off of this car, and I need to put a roof on my workshop, because at the moment, let me just show you, my workshop is work in progress as well. I've got walls on two sides. I've got an entrance where I'll put some doors. I've got my 2-post lift in. I've got one of 3 trusses in place. I really need to put a roof on this thing. We'll hopefully get that done in the very near future. I'm talking about the next 2 weeks. So there you go. The Land Rover 90 project. This car will be for sale. I'm not going to keep it. I am going to keep it. I'm not going to keep it. I am going to keep it. I love this car. I don't want to sell it, but cash flow and so on dictates that it will be available to buy. It'll only be available when the work is done, and even then it'll only be available when I've had the chance to drive it for a couple of months and do all the shakedown and make sure everything's fine with it. So we're talking about probably end of summer, and if you're interested, if it's sparking an interest and you're thinking, yeah, I could have that car, that would work for me, then get in touch, drop me a line, leave a message in the comments, and don't forget to, if you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe, because you can then follow the rest of the story of this car. The next video, probably in about a week or so, I'll show you all the bits I've got, and the progress that we'll have made, and then we're going to start doing some detailed videos on how the work is being done. So that's it. Stay tuned, be well, and we'll catch you on the next one.